And that opened a whole new world. So I started joining all sorts of women entrepreneur Facebook groups. Then I created our Latina Entrepreneurs Jefas Unidas Facebook group because I wanted to see more women who looked like us, who had, you know, a Latinx cultural background, indigenous women, women of diversity, really embracing their inner strengths, because we are strong women. Culturally, historically, you know, we are strong women and we bear the weight of our families, of our cultures, of our horrible experiences sometimes that we bury. And I wanted to help women who were like me, who had experienced the things that I had experienced, whether it be military trauma or sexual trauma or abuse or, you know, domestic violence, or just the simple fact of doing what you thought you were supposed to do all your life. Go to school, maybe get married, have children, work a job, and that's it. Because I knew there was something more that I wanted. And if I wanted something more, I couldn't be the only one. So there has to be other women out there who want something more. What can I do to help them get there? And so therapeutic empowerment led to the International Women in Business Mastermind, which I do monthly to talk to women about who they are, what they've created, what they see for their future, and how they can encourage and inspire the next woman. That same concept got carried over into the development of Magistra magazine. Magistra is Latin for woman teacher. So it's, you know, who are you? What's your business? What did you create and why? What do you see for your future? And what do you tell the woman reading your story? That has been such a common occurrence in all of the work that I've been doing. Eventually, I realized I was growing an empire. I was growing this organization from therapeutic empowerment, which is one-to-one coaching with women, to Magistra magazine, which was documenting women's stories and supporting women business owners, to the mastermind monthly to just talk with women one-on-one about who they are and what they do. You know, to now our biannual summits, which is, you know, fall and spring, an online event where we invite a ton of women online to talk about their journeys and what it is that, you know, they do and how that can encourage other women. To, of course, now our Boss Latinas anthology, which I'm so grateful for you to be a part of, and for so many women to have embraced, because through this journey, the development of therapeutic empowerment and Magistra magazine, I incorporated as the Empowerment Empire. So underneath the Empowerment Empire, you know, we have therapeutic empowerment coaching, we have Magistra magazine, and we have our events, all of which are designed to show women there are so many women who are succeeding at creating businesses for themselves, that why can't you do it too? If you have a desire, you can do it too. You know, just speak up and say, hey, I want to do something different. I don't really know how to do it. Can you help me? You know, just raise your hand and say that I need help because you want to do something different you're not sure about how to do. So to the Boss Latinas anthology is I was asked by a couple of different groups of entrepreneurs to participate in their anthologies. And I thought, I don't know, you mean tell my story and all of its ups and downs and like the horrible things that I've gone through and the amazing things I've experienced? That was really hard to do initially. And I think if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't be able to sit here with you today, Ligia, and openly talk about the journey. And I can do that today because I've been doing it, because you gain experience by doing something over and over again. You get better at it, right? It's like riding a bike. You get better and better at it once you keep trying and you keep doing. So when I finally said, okay, and I wrote out my 6,000 word story. And, and of course, I reread it several times, and I took things out of it several times, and then I put things back in it, and I took things out again. I don't know if I'm ready to tell the world about that. And then I let someone read it, and the response was, you have got to put everything in this story. Because imagine if you were on the other end of this, and you were the woman 4 years ago reading this story. How do you think that would have impacted your life then? And I think it would have greatly impacted my life, because then I wouldn't have to think that I was the only one that this was happening to. Abusive of a relationship, going through mental health struggles, experiencing PTSD, finally admitting to being sexually assaulted, on more than one occasion, and admitting that it was not my fault, and that there was nothing that I could have done or should have done, or any of the coulda, shoulda, wouldas that would make that my fault. When I finally I turned the page, and I flipped the coin and looked at it from a different perspective, I knew that in my journey and in my desire to empower other women, I had to be honest about who I was myself. And as hard as that was to do, to remove the mask and say, yes, as hard of a worker as I am, as dedicated as I am, these horrible things still happened to me. And it's not right. It was not okay. But damn it, I am not going to let it keep me down. And, and I feel like that's where culturally we are survivors. Latina women, we have gone through it, and we are survivors. Even when we're told we're not supposed to talk about things. Even when, we're told, that's family business, to keep it to yourself. Even when we're not educated in finance because we're not supposed to be able to understand. When we say, no, this is information I need to know. When we really stand up for ourselves, that's where we find our strength and our power. So that's when I came down to the realization that I needed more Latina women to feel invited to step into their power and write their own stories. Because imagine the woman on the other end of that, reading her story, reading your story, reading my story, to see that, no, things don't always work through in a perfect way. Yes, things are hard, but you know what really, really matters is how you get back up. How you get back up and you pull those boots back on and you say, you know what? Yes, that sucked, but you know what? I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up, because I am worth this. My family is worth this. My happiness is worth this. So thus, 50 women later, we have an amazing anthology that's going to be coming out into the world this month. Imagine if I read these stories, when I was like 15, 16 years old. The empowerment empire would probably be closer to 20 years old right now. And though we are 2 years old, and I am super grateful for that, but it's, I know the power that it can have on future generations of women, and even current aged women, to read these stories and to see that, yes, we can talk about the good things and the bad things. What's really important is how we stand back up and share that with one another. We are our sisters' keepers, and let's show up like that. Let's be that. I think the empowerment empire has grown so much, and I hope you can feel my passion. It's like, it's hard not to get tears sometimes over it, because it was life-changing for me to walk away from this career that was taking me into a direction that I didn't want, that I wasn't loving, to completely shifting gears and saying, I'm going to learn how to be a business owner. I'm going to empower other women to do it for themselves as well. And we're going to build an empire out of it. You know, so this, let's see, what's today? Today is Thursday. So on Saturday, I'm actually invited to go and speak on this to a group of, I don't know, 1,000 to 3,000 people here in San Diego, on what it's like to be, you know, a woman of color, of the LGBT community, what that is like to share my story, to empower others. And I never thought I would be invited onto a stage like of that size. I never thought I would be invited to speak about my journey on your show. You know, it's like, I never thought I would be at this place. But you know what? I am.
Right.
And it's because I refuse to give up. And that's, you know, my message to the women out there in the world who want something different from their lives. Don't give up. Raise your hand and say, I want to do something different, but I don't really know how. Who can help me? Because there are women such as myself who are here because I finally stood up for myself and said, I want to do something different, but I need help. And I truly, truly believe, you know, through the mantra of the empowerment empire is through collective collaboration, we all rise. And I truly believe that with all my heart and soul. And without that, in my life, this empowerment empire would never have existed. Without that drive and the willingness for other women to say, you know what, Vihil, I can help you with that. Like, let's sit down and have a conversation. What are you doing for your business? What do you want to do? How do you want to help the world? Do you have courses built? Do you want to do one-to-one coaching? Do you want to do events? Do you want to write a book? What is it that you want to do? And the coach that I have become is a combination of all of the coaches that I have been able to experience over this last, 4 years now. Because when you allow yourself to be empowered by powerful women, it soaks into you. You know, a little bit of these amazing women brushes off and becomes part of you as well. You take what you connect with from each of these amazing women, and it only continues to help you become more of the amazing person that you are.